Because these same guys, if you look at the gathering, right, you will see all of them were also involved in creating this APC, except Bokwari and then Tinubu, who were not present. So if they start a new political party, who is going to then be their leader or their, what do you call it, their presidential candidate or flag bearer? Well, that is also a bone of contention that is, it is a bit of a worry that is so loud, even though they are a little bit silent on it. But there is more, okay? I want to hear the other part before I play you the rest of what El Rufaya also said at that gathering. Listen to this.
Was funded by the masses of the people who were members of the party because they believed in the shared vision represented.
Yeah, that part of funding of the party. Nigeria is a place where looting the public fund to fund their political parties is not seen as a crime, as a criminal offense. You get that now? The moment you gain power, PDP, APC, what else? You are expected to take from the public fund and give it to your party. So in Nigeria, they don't have, member-based political party or member-run political party. They don't have it. Where you are supposed to say, okay, we have 2 million members. And these 2 million members are paying in more than 100 or more than 200 million naira every month as membership fee. And in a year, this political party makes, so that you can say, okay, money paid by members is what is being used to run the political party. That is not what they do in Nigeria. When APC, when people destroying people were in charge of Nigeria, they were taking money from the national cover to build a secretariat that they never completed. For 16 years, they couldn't complete it, but billions of naira. You know what they will do? They will call a meeting, and their state governors, they will gather them and start fundraising. So the state governors will be pledging hundreds of millions of naira. So they expect them, but they always sort of celebrate when they had rich states. Political party that has rich states, like they use their Lagos state money, right, to fund the APC, from that primary stage. So spending using the public fund is not considered as a crime. Not using the public fund to fund the party is considered as a crime by these political options. But yeah, that is also another defective thing that they call a political system in that contraption, so to say. Let him finish what he's saying, and the other guy after him.
Funded by the masses of the people who were members of the party because they believed in the shared vision represented by the NEPO.
Thank you very much.
In 1979, Madam, please can I run? In 1979, when we were young tax, these my friends, Malaminu Kono ran for president. The party wanted to raise 10 million naira to prosecute the presidential campaign in the then 19 states of Nigeria. 10 million naira. And the rule was enacted that all party members may contribute not more than 10 naira. You contribute 1 naira, but no more than 10 naira. People were queuing up to come and say, okay, take 10 naira for me, 10 naira for my wife, 10 naira for my son, I have 5 grandchildren, and so on. People funded Aminu Kano's campaign because they had shared vision. Now, unless we have a shared vision, a party that is ideological, we cannot be able to mobilize mass funding. You cannot be able to stop people who have money to fund it. and the contradictions will continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellencies, other participants. I'd like to just say, bottom line, politics in Europe, the Americas, is bedrocked on ideology. Ideology is the basis for forming political parties. You either lean to the left or you lean to the right. That is the basis for which you have people in the UK who have generations of members in Labour Party or in the Conservative Party. Same as in the US, you have people who are generations of family members who have been Republicans or Democrats. It's based on their leanings ideologically. We don't have that in Nigeria. It might have started in the 70s and in the 80s, but that is all gone. If we want to sit here today and talk about, I was going to say also that it's that ideological belief in what you are doing that makes you take deep into your pocket and finance it. When there's no such ideology, there's no basis. If we want to go into discussing those issues now in today's reality in Nigeria, we're wasting our time. Politics in Nigeria has been devoid of ideology, so what do we need to do? We need to form another, if you want to call it, special purpose vehicle today. Win the next election first, then we can create an ideological base for that political party. Anything outside of that is just a waste of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please restrict yourself to 2 minutes.
Thank you, distinguished Senator. Your Excellencies, my name is Comrade Babatunde Ali. I'm privileged to be the National Secretary of the People's Redemption Party, PRP. I'm representing my national chairman here, Malam Falalu. Sirs, I have just 1 minute. Some of the things I would have loved to mention, he spoke in that direction. But as I watch this seat, I see a repeat of what I have seen wherever I've been privileged to sit with leaders of our people like this. Some of the issues we're actually supposed to be sober about, and in fact,
I'm not worried, Mr. PRP. Did you hear the last guy before Mr. PRP? That you know what? Let us win the next election first. And we can begin to put ideology together for a party. It's never about ideology. It is always about the next election. It's always. And it's so unfortunate, by the way, that Nigeria is cursed with characters like this. Because you're not going to import these sensible, patriotic people from somewhere to come and do it for you in that contraption. Because those guys you saw in that clip there, they are the reflection of the people living inside Nigeria. I mean, they kind of will pride themselves as the fine gentlemen and women of the Nigerian political space, like they are the refined ones. It's never about any ideology. It's never about patriotism. It's never anything about that. Even if they pretended to act like it's about that, it's never about that. It's always about the next election. And then, as they have always been, strange bedfellows. The moment the sharing formula is not adhered to, and most of the time their sharing formula is to the detriment of the general populace, which is what is creating this wahala in the first place. Tinubu that promised thousands of people is yet to fulfill that. Is given out more than 30,000 appointments so far, both the ones they made public and the ones they didn't make public. But it's still pretty much not enough. Because the most lucrative business and job in that contraption today is politics. If you align yourself with the people in power, then you have a chance of making something for yourself. And when the sharing is never going, when the sharing doesn't go round, then you have opposition. The opposition that would then probably begin to sound like they will do it better. But meanwhile, it's just about themselves. That's the best they have to offer. Here was El Rufaya during that chat. Again, I'm trying to go through it, chap.
Loyalty to God and to your country, I think. So, in my view, you know, there is absolutely nothing wrong with a party member wanting his party to win every seat. But I think the problem that we have is that people want to win by hook or by crook. When I was governor of Kaduna State and we had to conduct local government elections, I went to great lengths to ensure that the elections were free and fair. We even went to China and got electronic voting equipment because I believed that it was important that we knew how well we were doing after being in office for 2-3 years. And the best way to test how well we were doing was to have credible local government elections. But believe me, I was just the majority of one because I was the governor. All my colleagues from CPC and ANPP and ACN said, look, just give us one chance to do to PDP what they have done to us for 16 years. Let us write the result and win everything as well. And I said, no, not on my watch. We lost some local governments, chairmanships, we lost some councillors, but on the whole, we won in more than 3/4 of the state, which I think was okay. And as far as I know, that is the only time in the history of this republic that local government elections were held to be free and fair in Nigeria. I have not heard of anywhere else. Because people just believe that the State Electoral Commission should ensure that every seat is won by the party in power. You know, some governors have tried a little bit to concede here and there, but the attitude is that, you know, we must take everything. I hope I've answered your question, but I want to build on what His Excellency Vice President Atiku Abubakar said about what the country faces as a challenge, because I don't think this is a challenge for the opposition. Okay? The way and manner opposition political parties are being targeted for destruction and the style and quality of governance in this country today is a national emergency. It should concern everyone. And I think this is a problem for all of us to think about and play a role in changing it. Because as His Excellency said, we stand the risk of losing democracy itself. In the last election, only 26% of registered voters bothered to come out to vote. I'm in a possession of a recent opinion poll that showed that 75% of registered voters in Nigeria do not intend to vote in the next election. That is very dangerous for us. And I think every voice must rise and come out and fight for this democracy. For those of us that are in our 60s, we lived half of our lives under military rule. We know what it is, and we don't want military rule. But we also don't want civilians with behaving like the military in their barbariga and suits. So this is a national emergency. So I appeal to those in opposition, you must coalesce into one political party. We did it in the APC and it can be done again. Okay? But to avoid what has happened to the APC, I think you must ensure that there is internal democracy in your party from day one and insist on it. You must insist that the congresses and convention must be competitive, free and fair. The question of forcing people to step down on the day of the convention and so on should be out of the window. Let people contest and know that they won. And not those that have lost know that they lost. To try again. We must have internal democracy in our parties. And I think, and I found this out when I went back to Kaduna to contest for governor, I realized that the most important qualification for being a political stakeholder, at least in Kaduna State.
Nuisance, Lele.
Honestly, see, if you don't know El Rufaya, right there where that place you are seated, you're going to agree with him. Oh, it's making sense. So, I mean, it says something very sense. You don't know El Rufaya. If you see, okay, if you remember, possibly, if you can picture, put it this way, if you can picture what a devil really looks like, I'm talking about a real devil, the one that will snap your neck, snatch your life like that, with no remorse. Like, just picture it. That's the evil man you are seeing there. And it is indescribable. You see, it's got nothing to do with maybe, it's because people don't like him or so. No. When you are looking at the devil incarnate, someone whose ways are so evil, right? And that person got an opportunity to be in a position of power. And then he showed himself of what is made of. If you see El Rufaya, you have to run. Unfortunately, like I said, the worst of the contraption are now the ones who are kind of like offering solutions. He is currently out of power. Suddenly, he's talking nicely. It's like, we've done it before, we can do it again. El Rufaya, Kaduna Little Finger. A man that supervised the ethnic cleansing of the people of Southern Kaduna, and he had no remorse about it. He had no regret about it. He will tell you every now and then that he has no regret. And when he was their governor, Papa, I don't even know where to start from. But those are the guys who are about to come and save you from Tinubu. Like, we did it before, we can do it again. We can start another political party. We can set some rules and standards. Because I did a free and fair local government election in Kaduna. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. They call him a vile little man. He is the evil man who said that Goodluck Egberejo Lantern, his wife, and few others were those who were sponsoring Boko Haram. And he was also the same guy who said that, you see, these soldiers that they are sending to kill Fulani terrorists, that the Fulanis will never forget. Even if it's going to take forever, every one of you will pay. And immediately became the governor of Kaduna State. We saw what he did. When the people of Southern Kaduna, when they see anything, they'll require, they will run. I'm talking about someone who was a governor of a state, and suddenly after he became governor, he went all around according to him, to all these African countries, telling all the Fulani terrorists to come back to Nigeria. Their brother is in power. He didn't stop there. He started giving them money, and he said, I gave them money. Listen to this, I gave them money so that to stop the killing of our people. But meanwhile, the killings of the people of Southern Kaduna there was never a record of that until El Rufaya became the governor. And then he went on to say, the burning of churches, the sacking of the communities, they were done by the Christians in order to make him look bad, because they were going to get money from international donors. El Rufaya said that on your national television. He is the governor. And he said the killings that you are seeing in Southern Kaduna, they were not carried out by the Fulani terrorists. They were carried out by the Christians themselves, so that to make him look bad and also to get donation. All the churches burned by these, Islamists in Kaduna. He came out. He is their governor. Then he went on to say for a second term. The Southern Kaduna, mainly Christians, they are inconsequential in the scheme of the things. And they wouldn't need them because they were saying that they will not vote for him again. They will not vote for him again. What did he do?